Hey everybody, it's Laurie-Ann Mirabito here. I am going to do a 3-day live free training. It is National Self-Improvement Month. September is such a fun month for new beginnings, and what a great way to start off September by doing a little bit of self-improvement. So I want to share some stuff with you regarding your business and using speaking, and we're going to talk about how to position you as the expert. I'm just going to kind of go over here. I'm going to share this in a couple of groups, and feel free to share yourself and let me know where you are watching from. Throw something in there in the comments. Let's see. So, once again, this is National Self-Improvement Month, and I wanted to talk to you guys about, I took down a couple of notes. I am down here, if you've noticed from my other Facebook Lives, I'm in a different location. I am actually down in our Florida home here, and so nice and spacious here. So let's talk about positioning you as an expert. Did you know that there are over 228,000 meetings and events this month? Yes, that's 228,000. That's 3 zeros, events and meetings and events that are going to happen this month alone. That comes down to about 7,500 meetings every single day. That means there were 7,500 meetings that happened today. There'll be 7,500 meetings and events that happen tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after. And what I love to say to my clients is, do you think you could find 1 or 2 of those a month out of 228,000? Yes. There is a lot of opportunity. And what that means is, with 228,000 meeting planners that are looking for you, you are their answer to what am I going to do, with my meeting. And keep in mind, some meetings have a lot more than just one speaker. So how do we position you as the expert? Well, if you think about speaking, if you were to start using speaking, how would that change your business? Type in the comments below how that would change your business. What would that do for your business? What would that do for your confidence? And I know, sometimes, we think, but speaking's a little scary. I'm shy. Can you imagine if you are shy and then you started speaking, how that would boost your confidence? And the funny thing is that I used to be painfully shy, couldn't even make eye contact with people. Yes, me, I was that shy, couldn't make eye contact with people, and now I walk across stages and speak to hundreds and thousands of people. So think about what that did for my self-confidence through the years. So what would that do for your business? How would that change, how would that change your business if you were able to use speaking? If you were positioned as the expert, do you think you might be able to maybe charge higher fees? And what would charging higher fees, would you attract the right clients to you? How would all of that change you, help you in your business, help you have more impact, help you, help more people, maybe, because when you're speaking, you're not just speaking one-on-one to somebody, you are now speaking to a group of people. And I think that this is extremely efficient. If you are a busy person and you are strapped for time, then using speaking would be huge. It'll help you accelerate your business. You'll be able to talk to more people all at once. I kind of consider it to be like a very It's a very efficient discovery call. In the coaching world, we all use a lot of us use the term discovery call, and that's to have those one-on-one sales calls with people so that we can like sort of share our programs and how our coaching process is, and also to get to know the client. Well, when you're speaking, you can actually be doing these group discovery calls, is what I kind of call it. So, and if you have any questions that come up, just feel free to just type in a couple of question marks, just so that I'll be able to see that it's that you've got a question, and I'll be able to answer it. So Beth says that she would like to spread the word about her advocacy. Yes, Beth, you have quite the message, and you need to be sharing that. And Diane Parker up in New Hampshire says it would be awesome to have a captive audience. And that's exactly what would happen when we position you as an expert. So how can we position you as an expert? How do we tell the world that you are a speaker, that you're available to speak? Well, one of the most obvious ones is, how about your email signature? Your social media. You know, I had a conversation with another woman who is a fellow speaker, and we were talking about like how sometimes when you feel like you have to hunt through their websites, through LinkedIn, through Instagram, through Facebook, just to see if they're a speaker, to find that word. So make it super easy for people. I mean, put it everywhere. Even if you haven't spoken yet, that's okay. If you're available to be a speaker and you want to start speaking, I mean, step right into it and own the speaker title. I want you to step into it and put speaker in your email signature, in your LinkedIn profile if you have one, in your About Me Facebook page, on your business page, any group pages that you run, on your Instagram, all of your social media. It should say speaker. And if you're on YouTube, exactly the same thing. You want to just claim that you're a speaker. And on your website, I tell my clients to make sure that you have a tab that says speaker or speaking. That way, if a meeting planner or somebody who's on a committee for a speaking event, a conference, a monthly meeting, they come to your website and they see that you are a speaker. No, they don't have to hunt under the About Me page. It's right there, nice and clear. And if you want to take it a step further, you could also, like, another suggestion that I have is like on the bottom, you might have a menu at the bottom of the page, and it could actually say, you know, meeting planners. So now the meeting planner actually feels like, oh, here's my home. Here's where I have to look. So that is one way those are a couple ways to position you as an expert. So what would we put on your website? On your website, you want to have a couple of talks. Put down 3 compelling titles, 3 sexy titles that you speak about. Think about the people that you help, the transformation, and come up with some great titles. You know, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, I'm not sure if I'm ready to speak. You know, maybe one day I'll be ready. So here's what I say. I have 3 questions for you. Do you know what you do? Most people say yes. You know, do you know what you do? Do you know who you help? And do you know the results for the transformation that you get them? Those are the 3 things that you need to know, because I am sure that you are an expert on whatever your topic is, whether it's you're a health coach, you're in marketing and branding, whether you do website design. Yes, even a website designer can be a speaker. You have a lot of information to teach people about how to keep your customers on your website, you know, SEO. If you're into branding, I mean, branding is this unbelievably evergreen topic, and claim it and just say that, you know, like, come up with some 3 sexy titles that you can talk about, that a meeting planner would come to your website and be like, oh my God, I have to have this title. And then they're sending you an email. So put that in your signature, just to review your signature, your email. So other places that you want to mention that you're a speaker, if you send out a newsletter, on the bottom, it can say, here's how I help my clients. And it could say speaking, not just coaching, but speaking, coaching, workshops, seminars. Just put it right out there. Make it really super easy for people to be like, oh yeah, I know somebody who's I'm going to be on a committee that's going to be planning a conference in the springtime. You just never know. Keep putting those ideas out there again and again. In your social medias, if you start doing some Facebook Lives, let people know that you're speaking. One of the trends that I'm seeing these days, especially with the people who are hiring me, is that they are watching my Facebook Lives. That's what I keep hearing from meeting planners is, I got to go finish watching your Facebook Lives, and then I would like to set up a meeting so that we can discuss things a little bit further. So this is a great way for people to get to know you better. And that's what happens when you're the speaker and when you're positioned as the expert. They get to know you, they get to like you, and they get to trust you. And so you probably are a lot ready to start speaking now and not putting it off. Because by starting now, one, you're going to get better at speaking, but you'll also start growing your business. And remember, we want to position you as the expert. Not only is positioning you as the expert going to help you in your business and grow your business, but it'll help you in getting even better speaking opportunities. So let me just check over here to see if there are any questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And here's a good question for me to ask all of you guys. What do you want to be an expert in? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to speak on? Instead of people saying, hey, get me somebody who speaks on branding, it's, hey, get me such and such. That's when you know that, you are definitely the expert in that area when they say that they want you, and not just a general marketing person, a general health coach person. Get me such and such. So what do you want to be known for? What do you speak on? Who are the people that you help? I'm just peeking over here in the comment section to give you guys an opportunity to type in. And I'd love to know how many of you actually have a speaker page. Do you have a speaker page on your website? Do you have speaker in your email signature? Is it on your LinkedIn profile, on your Facebook? How many of you guys actually have, it says speaker? Okay, I'm just going to take a drink of water here. Give you guys a chance to kind of type in your answer. And how else could we position you as an expert? I mean, I think I did a video about a month ago, and I talked about I gave you 20 reasons why to use speaking. One of them is it positions you as the expert. You become the authority on your subject that's in the room. And keep in mind, speaking does not just mean on a stage. That's one way to do speaking. But there's also, you could be doing live streams. You could be a guest on a podcast. You could be hosting your own podcast. You could be doing YouTube videos. You could be doing webinars. You could be guest expert on somebody else's webinar or somebody else's mastermind or their retreats. There are so many different opportunities for you to speak, including sales presentations. It's, whether that's one-on-one or one to a group of people that you're presenting to. Nothing, like to have a really interesting presentation is just going to keep your audience, whether it's a sales pitch or whether it's a presentation, just to keep them captivated in what you're talking about. I mean, think about some of the stuff that you read, the things that are interesting to read. Just notice, why do you find this material interesting? What is it about the way that the writer is writing, their style? that keeps you captivated and listening. So Beth Donahue said, it is on my LinkedIn, but that's about all. Okay. She said she's going to fix that tonight. Okay, Beth, I know that you're part of the private Facebook group, so make sure that I see that you go in there. I want you to tell me that when you've put speaker everywhere else. And Diane Parker says that she doesn't have a speaker page, but I'd like to be the spiritual cheerleader and also a trainer in HGH. Oh, Diane, but you do have a book, and you do have a book website. And you could put speaker on there. And let's see, what other places can you put speaker? You can put speaker on your Facebook. If you've got an Instagram account, any other social media, and definitely in your email signature, maybe your personal email signature. But I think you would make a great trainer for New Life for HGH. Absolutely. So any other questions? I wanted to keep this short, but also about, it's September, it's Natural Self-Improvement Month. So let's stretch ourselves and let's position ourselves as an expert and let's start speaking so that we can grow our business. So here's one thing that I would like you to do. I'd like you to commit to trying to get booked. So take out a piece of paper and pen, and I just want you to write down how many places would you like to get booked? Is that number 5? Is it 3? Is it, maybe you just kind of want to test the waters and it's just 1, and that's totally fine. Whatever feels good to you. And just by reaching out and trying to get booked doesn't mean that you're going to get booked to speak next week. So that's where I don't want you to get scared about, and that's what holds you back from speaking, because you never know when that speaking engagement's going to be. Some people are looking for speakers on their month-to-month meetings, but there are a lot of organizations that actually will book 12 months in advance. So you may not be speaking next week, but you might also be speaking next week. But you might also be speaking in 3 months from now. But how good would that feel to have a date on the calendar and you knew that you got booked? You did it. You have that opportunity to influence that audience. Because then I'll share some tips that I do. And one of the things that I do is I'll do promotional stuff to help with the event, to let my followers know that I'm going to be someplace that they might come and join me and watch me. It's so much fun when you have people that that follow you and then they show up at your conferences or meetings, and it's very, very flattering. And Diane Parker says, do we charge for speaking or should we start off doing it for free? So my answer to that is, Diane, it depends. I recently had a client who it only took her 7 days to get her first paid speaking event, and there is a comma in the number that she's getting paid. The magic question is, what's your budget for speakers? That's the magic question. I ask that to anybody who contacts me in regards to wants to hire me for a keynote for an event that they're hosting. And that's one of my first questions is, what's your budget? And that's where I start, because I know that if I give them my normal speaking fee, it might scare people. But depending on the organization, there are still some opportunities actually where I waive my speaker fee, or they don't have a budget, but there's always some sort of an exchange of value. Maybe I can get the email list of and names and titles and phone numbers to everybody who's attending the conference. You could get video, you can get audio, pictures from a high-end photographer that happens to be at the conference. There are a number of ways to exchange value. And so it's not that you're speaking for free, you are speaking for something. So Diane, I would say start off with asking the question, what's your budget? And just go in there with the mindset that they're going to pay you. Have that attitude of, they have money and they want to pay you. So go in there and just ask the question, what's your budget? And then you just kind of be quiet for a moment and hear what they have to say. I hope that helps. Let's see. Hello, Erica. I hope you are well. Erica does a lot of Facebook Lives on health. If you haven't been able to catch one of her lives, definitely get that opportunity. So just to kind of like recap, it's National Self-Improvement Month. I just thought that we would talk about you and about positioning you as an expert. Let's get out there speaking. Your homework is to decide on just how many bookings you want to get. And let's start getting you booked. Step out there. You want to find the right organizations. You want to find the right people to approach and then just have a conversation. But let's position you as the expert. And so tonight's homework is to go out there and put that you're a speaker. I want it to be on your Facebook, on your email signature. Put it everywhere. That way, if you do start to reach out to people, when you start to reach out to people and they start looking you up, like on LinkedIn and Facebook, they are going to see speaker is everywhere. And so they're going to be like, this person is definitely a speaker. So let's see. Okay, so you're going to position yourself as the expert. You're going to have the speaker page, email signatures, speakers all over the place, and that is your call. That's your homework for tonight. So what we're going to talk about tomorrow is part of your presentation. And also, I want to give you this little gift about what we're going to talk about tomorrow it will also help you with all of your clients, whether you are speaking up in front of people or a sales call or you're just at a networking event. We're going to talk about stories. And stories sell. Stories, like there's something about stories, like first of all, we are hardwired for stories. If you're a mom, you're a dad, you're an aunt, like your little kids don't come up to you and say, oh, like, mommy, daddy, would you tell me a bedtime statistic? No, they want a bedtime story. We are entertained by stories. So we're going to talk about stories. So what I want you to do tomorrow is make sure you bring pen and paper because I'm going to help you find your stories. So tomorrow will be an episode that you won't want to miss. Tomorrow I am going to do it a little bit earlier. So I'm going to do this at, I think, 3 o'clock. We're going to do this, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm down here in Florida and I do have a meeting to go to, a gathering to go to tomorrow. So thank you everybody for showing up. I hope that you get some great value out of this. Let's position you as experts. Let's get you out speaking. Tomorrow we're going to talk about stories and I will see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and I'll make some announcements. And if you are watching the replay, feel free to type in your questions and I'll be happy to answer them. You guys all have a great evening.